There is one thing you must remember about Satan's deceptions, or how the paranormal works in general. Every deception that the enemy brings to you has an expiration date. Or let me say it like this: the paranormal only offers you extended relief that needs to be renewed. So every quote-unquote gift, there are no real gifts with the paranormal, but just call it a gift for now. Every gift you receive from the paranormal has an expiration date, so it's not a real blessing at all. Look, when you walk by faith, you will face retaliation, you will face resistance, but because you are walking in the power, through the power, you overcome all that comes against you. There will be things coming against you anyway, but you will overcome. And often, when you receive an answer to your prayer, it's then the resistance comes. But you don't see the answer of your prayer yet. But while you're overcoming, you will see the manifestation appear. The manifestation already appeared the moment you prayed. But the enemy came to distract you so that you would think that you didn't receive it. But you received it, and because you kept enduring, you kept moving forward, you kept shaking off the dust from your feet, you walked eventually in the manifestation of that prayer. What the enemy often does to prevent folks from walking by faith, he doesn't want anyone to walk by faith. Only believers can walk by faith. The enemy doesn't want believers to walk by faith so that they won't inspire worldly people to follow Christ. Because only when we walk by faith that we can truly impress worldly people in the right manner. You can impress people the wrong way, that is through works and through religion. To impress people the right way or in the right manner is when you walk by faith, when you walk in the power. Satan doesn't want that. So what does the enemy do? He gives you instant relief that appears to be final, but it's not final. That relief, that period of ease will expire. And the enemy often brings these seasons of instant relief when you are vulnerable, when you just lost your job, or when you just found out that one of your parents don't really love you because he or she's a narcissist, or when you were just rejected from a job interview. It's when you're at your weakest that the enemy comes with those packages that he offers people. Because the enemy is as a salesman, but he is a salesman that sells you crap. But while he sells you the crap, you think it's gold. He has his way to blur your perception so you will perceive that the crap he is selling you as gold. That's what the enemy does. And when you are at your most vulnerable, it's then that you're most likely to see garbage as gold. Let me say it one more time. When the enemy, or when the paranormal gives you something, it has an expiration date. But the expiration date is not mentioned when you receive it. Okay, let me give an example. Let's say you are new in town and you really want a human interaction. The paranormal can provide you with friends. The paranormal can provide you with a club or with a local church. And you will have human interaction. You will have a lot of it. You may even get a spouse out of those interactions. But this quote-unquote blessing has an expiration date. Because those people that evil spirits will send to you, they are not delivered. They have all kinds of wrong thinking patterns. So they have a lot of issues they're carrying with them. So they will bind you. But you think you won the jackpot because now you have all these people that mean you well. Those people may mean you well indeed, but they are trapped themselves. And now the enemy is using them to trap you. So you hang out with those folks, you will have a great time for maybe 2, 3, or maybe 5 years, when the 6th year appears, you realize that you become stagnant. You realize that time has passed by, but you haven't reached anything beyond what you had 5 years ago. Some of those people may instantly turn on you, so it cancels itself out. So what you received was a distraction. It was not a blessing. And that is what a lot of believers need to learn. The difference between a distraction and a blessing. You have distractions that are disguised as blessings. They're not blessings, they're just disguised as blessings. Think about a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's sheep's clothing. So you will perceive and see sheep's clothing, but it's not a sheep. The same way the enemy comes with many distractions that are masked as blessings. He does this to distract you, so you will not operate in the power of Christ. Think about it this way. If Christ said in the world you will have tribulation, but he told you to be of good cheer because he has overcome the world. If Christ also told you that he has given you his peace, that he has given you power to trample upon scorpions and serpents and the whole camp of the enemy, that means that you will face fights during this lifetime, but because you operate in the power, because your mind is aligned with Christ, you will overcome. So nothing that's good and lasting will come easy to you as a believer. I'm not saying that you can't receive it easily. You can't receive it easily, but once you receive it, there will be resistance against you having it. Maybe you wanted to have your own house, your own extended house. You prayed about it, you decreed and declared it. And when you began to decree and declare it, somewhere at the other side of the country, suddenly a real estate officer decided to decrease the price of a property. Why did he decide to do that? Your prayer caused him to do that. He doesn't even know you. You caused him to decrease the price of property. And at the same time, there is some miscalculation at the bank which causes them to pay out wages with an extra 10%. This affects a lot of folks, but people are not aware of it. So you cause all of this by that prayer. Why? Because soon you will be in contact with that real estate officer and you will hear about this property which has a low price. And because you have an increase in your wage that's caused by a defect at the bank, you're now able to take the mortgage. But that's not it. That's not all I mean. After receive the mortgage, 2 years after it will be canceled and house is yours. So the moment you prayed and decreed for your own place, you got it. So it happened. But now, the paranormal sense that you had a consequence by your faith. Now the demons would want Christ to be glorified. Because answered prayers glorify Christ. So they don't want that. So now you'll have a lot of financial difficulties. You'll have people turning on you. You'll almost become homeless. You have all these things come against you. Why? Because the demons want you to be occupied with fixing those problems so that you will not pursue your dream of having your own house. Because the moment you prayed concerning your own house, you already got it. And by you remaining active in that dream, through faith, you will eventually walk in the manifestation you prayed for. So now the demons come to hinder you. So you can receive things easily, but there will be resistance when you receive them. So there will be tribulation, there will be resistance. So stop expecting everything to start off good in your life. The moment something starts off good, in the sense that the whole context is good, most likely it's a deception. Remember I said you can receive something easily. But it doesn't mean the whole thing starts off good. There are things that can start off good. There's nothing wrong with something starting off good. Okay? Don't get me wrong. But when the enemy wants to trap you, he will cause everything to start off so good, so smooth, so easily. And that's a trap. You think it's a blessing. It's not a blessing. If it's a real blessing, it would receive resistance. If it doesn't receive resistance by the world, it's not a real blessing. Let me say it one more time. If it does not receive resistance by the world, it is no blessing. Okay? Remember that. A counterfeit blessing or a distraction masked as a blessing will always come at the right time. Just when you need it, or just when you were so fed up, or you're about to give up, something quote unquote good happened. In those states, especially then, we ought to be more prayerful than ever. Because when you remain prayerful, when you remain alert, you'll notice when something's not from the Most High. It can be that you graduated college and you still didn't have a full-time job. You only had seasonal jobs here and there. And one day you get a call from a buddy whom you haven't spoken with you haven't spoken to this guy for years, but he tells you that at his corporation they need new people and your qualifications. Based on your qualification, you're a match for the job. So you go there, you didn't really expect much of it, but you got the job. So you think, finally, I have a full-time job after college. But that corporation, soon you found out, is a fake corporation, and they are using that corporation to cover up sex trafficking. So now, you're stuck at that job, you're tired, you're exhausted, and now you also are facing that it's really a cover-up. So you're involved with a criminal syndicate without you being aware of it. That buddy of yours doesn't know anything. Now what happened? Was it a blessing? No, it was a distraction to lead you from bad to worse. And that body of yours was just used by the demons to trap you. Did that body trap you on purpose? No, that body of yours is trapped himself. He's not even aware of it. He had no intention of trapping anyone. Nevertheless, due to his ignorance and the fact he's not delivered, evil spirits could use him to trap you. And the reason why you were trapped so easily was because you didn't look at the bigger picture. That's why I'm telling you, always be prayerful. Always examine things. Be Christ-centered, not self-centered. Always look for true prosperity, which is found in Christ. Don't look for an easy existence. Don't seek relief. Seek victory. Seek life in abundance, which Christ promised to bring, and he came. Be Christ-centered. Agree with Christ and be at peace.